1, 2, 1, 2, little sounded better. Degree. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Maybe just a level thing. 3, 4, 5. The glamour of rock and roll. 1, 2, 3.
It's taken about a year to score all the music and get all the rehearsal parts together. You know, not full-time, but part-time. And then 2 full days of rehearsing and then 3 gigs. So we'll still be rehearsing just until the gig, until the very last second tomorrow. The last time we played together was a good 2 years ago, because then we took a break to record the album and put all our energy and time into that. So resources switched from recording to live to recording. So now we're on the kind of live end of the scale to basically have some fun and gig the album. Live band members we have tonight were from Dublin, Paul Burns, per world-class drummer. From Tokyo we have Yoshi Izumi, great bass player, and acoustic guitar, a guy from Belfast called Sean Walsh, you know, a great gigging musician, played all his life, guy I've gotten to know recently. On lead guitar we have one of Dublin's local pros, Carl Breen, and all the way from London we have Paul Higgs, who's a magnificent music director from England, who I've been working with for the last 10 years, and great collaborator, great professional, lucky to have him. And of course on vocals then we have Amy Creighton, who's sung lead on a few songs on the album and does wonderful harmonies. It feels nerve-wracking and like that there's never enough time to prepare, but you have to just kind of get up there and get on with it and, you know, let loose, see what happens. The most important thing for the last 2 nights was the technical end of it, getting ourselves married with the sound effectively, and just making sure all the parts that were written out, all the scoring, all the charts make sense and everything's in the right order. So essentially it's a kind of a fact-finding mission, and you just look for errors or things you might have missed and see if everything's working. It's also in my head as we're traveling will be getting the technical side of it together, sound check, gear setup, lighting, and remembering cues. That'll be the biggest thing. And it's a complete kind of technical rush, and all of a sudden you're on stage in front of people. So you don't really have time to think, you just have time to kind of go from put one step in front of the other until you're actually there. And then you're kind of hoping that everything goes according to plan effectively.
I mean, I was known in the school for having a good singing voice, and so I was always given, I was encouraged to join. But I had a fantastic primary education, and especially in 5th and 6th class, I had one of these maverick guys who would influence you for the rest of your life. So I came out at the age of 12, a complete Renaissance man, you know, so up on culture and history and Irish language, and my language was better at 12 than it was at 17 leaving school, and ready to take on the world.
No mic yet, so
Can I just do a quick line check first?
okay. I am nervous, but quietly confident at the same time. That's the glory of the people that I'm lucky to be working with.
Hello,
We are gathered here today to kick-start our enormous tour of the universe, taking in 3 dates, and to let you know that we have a new album out called Involuntary Noises. The first song we're going to sing for you is a kind of reflection on the last 25 years of popular music.
I was usually in the school play, and that was great fun, and it was cool. Like in the nativity play, I played Joseph, but I wanted to be a shepherd with the lads, because the lads used to hang out. I had to hang out with a girl.
Well, you got the lead.
Yeah, I got the lead, yeah. And it was a big scandal because I was only a 5th class boy, and I got the lead in the 6th class play. That was the beginning of the end, you know.
It's the start of the beginning. Keep me right on what turn off to go off.
Vintage but contemporary, I suppose. I liked the way the Pogues dressed. I liked those suits that weren't dressy suits, but still had a kind of style about it. You know, a little bit quirky, a little bit rough, but a little bit sharp at the same time. I think there's a little bit of musical theatre in it, a little bit of folk, a little bit of Bowie, a little bit of Steely Dan on the harmonies. Well, I suppose I would aspire to getting somewhere close to that level eventually. Magnificent work. So a bit of rock, bit of theatre, bit of folk, bit of poetry, bit of the odd bit of stand-up thrown in here and there. This is my good friend, fabulous performer Michael Grinnell, who's collaborated with me on many projects, and we are delighted to have him as a guest here tonight in the concert hall.
Pleasure's all mine. He wrote this wonderful piece and I was cast in it, and we've been friends and workmates ever since. We've done several of these concerts.
Several, yeah. We've done about 3 or 4 here, haven't we?
Indeed.
Yeah.
And we've been honing them as we go along. We're
Exactly.
getting more and more exotic as we go along.
Exactly.
You can't escape my voice. Believe in me.
I'm not a songwriter, unfortunately. I'm the pawn who goes out there and does everybody else's wonderful work.
No, just about it. He's a distinguished actor.
I have the pleasure of working for people like Jody and doing the material for these people and it's super stuff, so it's a pleasure for me. Jody's stuff is very theatrical. I mean, I'm sure anybody who's listened to his songs and you know, heard the lyrics will see how theatrical he is. He's making comments. He's a great commentator as well. So there's lots there for an actor to get their teeth into, and I certainly gobble it all up.
Thank you.
My favourite song on the album, I'm not sure. I'll narrow it down to Younger Heart and Somewhere Beneath the Skin, because I think maybe the strings, the folky feel with the strings, I think I really enjoy. And I enjoy their kind of sense of melancholy and poetry, because they're kind of not the theatrical songs, they're just kind of songs that came from nowhere, just songs on an album, singer-songwriter songs. So they're out of the blue, kind of things that like a bolt of lightning hit you when you're on the bus, or you know, you don't know where they're coming from and you don't know what they're going to be, but they turn into something which I hope is really nice. The whole thing is about that journey from the moment you have an idea for a song, you develop it, start to play it, arrange it, discover other orchestral possibilities with other musicians, and then eventually get to bring it to the studio, work on it there. All this takes time, and then finally get to play it live and see what the reaction is. I'm pretty calm, yeah. I mean, I work in stressful environments, and I'm known to keep a cool head. I generally like to keep the drama on the stage, and I keep everything else ticking over.
We walked in innocence, music as our eye, not such strangers in this universe.
I've worked on an awful lot of school shows now with an awful lot of really passionate, committed teachers who, you know, work far more hours than they're being paid for, and they've kind of maybe reevaluated, because see, there is an awful lot of good and a lot of people like us who are working hard to make a difference.
The next song is from the musical Egypt of Love, and it's going to be sung by Amy Creighton, who played the lead role of Eileen. Please welcome Amy Creighton.
She moves a little here, she moves a little there.
We have so many good people around us all the time, just so many talented people, but also it's really difficult to put shows on. You know, it's brilliant and it's exciting, but it's also really difficult.
There's a camera up her skirt, she's on a diet every day.
Well, I'm hoping that we're going to do this very soon again. So I'm hoping that we'll see everybody soon.
Everybody wants to take her home. Everybody loves a pretty girl.
His music, the first album was great, the second is just so mature now, and it's just been an absolute pleasure to play him with the band. It's my first time playing with the band. So I volunteered to get involved just to add a bit of texture. Let Carl do his noodly stuff, and I put the texture in. And I think it's a scratch band. It's, for me, an absolute pleasure to be involved with them. You know.
I am the musical director, so if anything goes wrong musically, it's down to me. I recorded the piano parts, and I helped with the backing vocals, the brass arrangements, and some of the string arrangements, specifically the cello. Now we've got it to this stage, it's easy to tour it again, and we've enjoyed it. It's been a great experience for all of us.
I'm delighted with how it went. I thought, given the short amount of time we had to put it together, that everybody played really well, you know, and it's been a pleasure working with some world-class musicians.
On drums, Mr. Paul Byrne and Robert Byrne.
I look forward to kicking the whole thing off again in a couple of months.
On bass, Mr. Yoshi Satanta Osulawan Izumi. On acoustic guitar, Mr. Sean Dr.
I feel a multitude of things, kind of sad it's over, relieved it went so well, exhilarated, inspired.
On guest vocal, Mr. Michael Grinnell.
I think the songs are working, the arrangements are working, I think the band is working.
On backing and lead vocal, Miss Amy Creighton.
That's the journey you take when you embark on something that's a little bit unusual.
On trumpet, piano, keys, Mr. Paul Sausage Fingers Higgs. Thank you for coming. Good night.
Yeah, we have a good family atmosphere, you know, I suppose that's a good thing. I think that's because the musicians, I hope, I get the feeling that they like the material and that they respect it, and they respect the writing, and there's generally a good vibe, you know, and I respect them because they're so fantastic.